The following is a special presentation of the Bagmen podcast. And now, Craig Sowers.
Hey guys, welcome back. We got a special broadcast today. We've got a special guest who is here, able to be here on a weekday when we have fall break, which is very fortuitous.
For all of us.
During the actual Bridge Festival, where Ryan just sent me a text message from.
Oh, has it started?
He said it begins.
Okay.
Gave me a Lord of the Rings.
I didn't know it started this week.
Yeah, started today, actually. Sent me a picture of ham and beans with cornbread.
I love ham and beans.
What better way to kick it off?
Yeah, if you get an image of ham and beans with cornbread, it's probably from the Bridge Festival for the next week.
Do you know the secret of making good ham and beans?
I do not, but I'm about to.
My grandmother told me you put a tablespoon of molasses in it.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
A tablespoon of molasses?
Tablespoon of molasses.
I've never had sweet beans before.
Makes all the difference.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it taste sweet, but it adds an extra layer of flavor.
Okay. Would you call that umami? That's kind of the big buzzword right now.
Well, I would just call it Mama Oz extra touch.
That works.
That's the special touch. All right, so we'll hit the lower third with Stock on right now. So Stock, anything happened in the last few days since we had our last podcast?
Yes, a big thing happened, and it was a major world event. Angela Lansbury passed away.
Oh, I saw that.
And yeah, if anyone who doesn't know, and who doesn't know Angela Lansbury, she was famous to modern day audiences for Murder, She Wrote, but she had a long history on the stage on Broadway, also in movies like The Manchurian Candidate. That was an excellent movie.
Yep.
Great lady. Do you remember Bill Miller when he was on the Cubs?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Anyone who doesn't know, Bill Miller was a third baseman for the Cubs during the same season that Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire had their home run.
Had their steroid fest.
Steroid fest. So all the attention was on those guys. Nobody was paying attention to third base, but Bill Miller, he went out there, gave 100% every day. Every picture you saw of him, he was like horizontal to the ground, twisting, just a solid player. I kind of see Angela Lansbury that way. There are a lot of flashy people who get their 15 minutes of fame, but she was always solid 100% of the time.
Yeah. So she was, correct me if I'm wrong, so she was like 96 or something.
96.
She was,
yeah. So it's not a mystery on why she died.
No, not at all.
But sudden and unexpected nonetheless. Last time I saw her, she still looked pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
So, aged well, like a fine wine.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah, she's big on Broadway for a while. I don't know, Stock, if you saw, I sent you an Instagram reel of a story, B. Arthur. Was talking about her and Angela Lansbury, and they were doing a curtain call, and then like B. Arthur was one of the last ones, and then Angela had center stage in the curtain call, and she was like, next time I have a one-woman show on Broadway, I'm wearing a white dress. I think she called her Angie because they were tight like that. And I was like, what two great women. That's so cool.
Perfect.
B. Arthur. Most people would know her from... what was that show with?
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both. And
that's the facts of life. Golden Girls is what most people know her. I remember her from the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh yeah,
she was.
Yeah,
she's
bartender.
She's definitely in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
She was the bartender.
She was.
So throwback to Mr. Holt's lower third, which is Traitor.
There it is.
Because he is the traitor.
And he works at Trader's Point.
He works at Trader's Point.
That's right.
With an AI.
Yep.
So I had some, as Dickens would say, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Well, I think Dickens would have said it was the worst of times for this.
Well, I had the good customer experience last night, and then I had a really horrible one today. So last night, the hat and the hoodie are merch from ACAL Clothing, not sponsored, but I really like their quality. They're really comfortable. It's a little on the pricey side, but everything's made in America.
Nice.
So it's all made here. Nora really likes the hat, the beanie. She steals it off my head when we're in the car. So she wanted one by herself.
Okay.
I went to acalclothing.com and they were sold out. They don't have any beanies anymore. They had some socks that were really high quality as well, which you cannot find made in America. But super high quality socks. So I was like, I'm just going to email the company. So I emailed the company, found their customer service stuff on their website, and asked, hey, are you going to have new beanies or are you going to have new socks? 5 minutes later, email response, which is unheard of in modern customer service, right? He said, yeah, new beanies later this month and new socks. We're kind of looking at an ETA, but I don't want to say anything. So that's really cool. The other side of the customer service coin, as it were, got a fraud prevention protection notice last night. They wanted me to clear 4 purchases on my debit card. The first one was for 64 cents to a bakery in England. So it had a .co.uk.
Okay. All right.
So I went to the website while I was trying to verify these, and I'm like, 64 cents to keep my card open, probably worth it. So I said, yeah, I did that. The other 3 purchases were legitimate Amazon purchases, stuff like that. So I was like, hey, everything's good.
Yeah.
I go to play Pokemon Go this morning. If you didn't know, I'm a big Pokemon Go player.
Yes.
And couldn't buy anything in the shop.
Yep.
So there's an event tomorrow. Couldn't buy anything for the event tomorrow. Went to the ATM. Not the ATM machine, which is from the rants last week that got cut out. Went to the ATM, and my card was unrecognized. So I called fraud prevention, and they said, yeah, there was a bakery in England that was definitely a fraud, and your card is no longer active. So you got to go get a new one. So that's what I'll be doing after the podcast today and before the football game.
Yep.
So
it's an easier process now than it was when I got defrauded.
Yeah, I think either one of those would work.
Swindled, yeah.
Bamboozled.
Bamboozled, yes.
But mine wasn't 64 cents. Mine was $700.
Oh.
And you know the answer to this. Do you remember what it was?
I'm trying to think. I don't, but I remember it happening.
Yeah, someone bought $700 worth of cowbells.
just for the memes, just for the Saturday Night Live memes.
Just for the fun.
I need more cowbell. Gene, really use the space.
That's right.
When they called me and asked, did you make this purchase? I was so dumbfounded. I really didn't know what to say at the moment.
Really? Cowbells? Well, all right. There we go.
Yeah. So that's a fun process. If you do get defrauded, the white collar crime division usually, what is the average? Like 600 hours if you do get your identity stolen.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't get to that point.
That's good.
So it's going to be 20 minutes in Lafayette.
Yeah.
They print you a new card right there on the spot now, which is great at the main branch for FQ. So shout out to FQ. They've been awesome through the entire experience, but it's just unfortunate that I have to go get a new card to begin with.
Definitely rant worthy, for sure.
Yeah, rant worthy. I'm saving the rant because Stock has 2. Just spoiler alert: Stock has 2 rants today. So if you're watching this on replay, you can skip to that.
Old man. Grumpy old man.
Those are great movies, by the way. Walter Matthau. Oh my gosh,
never saw them.
Good stuff. So if you haven't seen those,
I'm adding a rant right now, and I'm adding
seriously. Oh my goodness. So if you hadn't seen him so far or picked up, Mr. Holt's our special guest today.
Mr. Holt.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah,
Joey Holt.
Joey Holt, the special guest. He was able to join us today on a Friday.
Yes.
I'm assuming it's your fall break as well.
It is. Yeah, we're on fall break. We have this entire week off, and then Monday of next week we have a PD day, but the kids have an e-learning day. So a week and a day of sorts.
So what is that an e-learning day traditional, or is it a virtual day like we just went through?
It is an e-learning day traditional.
Okay.
So we have professional development meetings all day, and so just assignment on Google Classroom. Make sure they get it in by midnight, and that's pretty much it.
So what is your journey? You left Covington several years ago now.
I did.
We were hired on the same day.
We were. How great is that?
And Jordan Gerp.
That's
were
right.
hired on the same day.
The big 3.
And since then, you've had a very interesting journey through several schools, and I've changed chairs.
Yeah, that's right.
So I've got a new gaming chair that I sit at. But,
Yes.
So what's that look like? Yeah, go ahead, Stock.
Oh, no.
Is this going to be a rant?
He's going to add a rant. He's going to add a rant.
No.
I was going to say, you moved to the other side of the building.
Well, that's true.
So,
That is true.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Part of the hire, though, yeah. So I'm upstairs now
Yes. Moving on up.
in the cave.
So yeah, first off, I am so excited to be here because I've seen every episode. Huge fan of the show.
Well, all 4 episodes.
All
Yes.
4 of them.
We're going to plug yours as well. Plug your podcast as well.
And also, like, I was on my way here, I was like, might be a really long episode because I feel like, we used to hang out, all of us, all the time. So this is just us hanging out.
Yeah.
And so, like, we could talk for hours.
Yeah,
So
there was a 30-minute precursor to this podcast as well. Yeah. So just hanging out.
Yeah. So I'm just like excited to be here and just to hang out with you guys.
We're excited to have you. This is awesome.
Yeah. So you asked a question and I kind of forget what it was.
What was your post-Covington journey? So
That's right.
You've been kind of everywhere.
I've been a lot of places. So after Covington, I left Covington in 2017 and I went to not too far away. I went to North Putnam, Taught high school there for a while. My girlfriend at the time, my now wife.
Shout out to Danny.
It was, shout out to Danny.
No shout out to
Oh,
her.
I just gave Danny a shout out.
Stop adding another rant to
She stole Joey away from us.
She took Joey from Covington.
Yes. So I moved closer to her, closer to Indianapolis, and I taught at North Putnam for 2 years. Taught high school there, and then an event to move closer to where Danny worked. Danny worked in Carmel at the time, and so during that time span we got married, and we moved to Brownsburg. And I taught at Brownsburg East Middle School for 2 years. And COVID hit, and so I taught there during COVID and all of that. And while I was at Brownsburg, a guy that I had taught and coached with at North Putnam was the head football coach at Traders Point Christian High School. And he was like, hey, we have a high school social studies opening. And I was teaching 7th grade, all day 7th grade at East, which was great. And I enjoyed my time there a lot, but it was a chance for me to get back into the high school realm. And I was like, yeah, this is great. So I interviewed at Traders Point, and I'm now in my 2nd year at Traders Point Christian. Still live in Brownsburg. This will be year 3 living in Brownsburg or something like that. So I've been teaching at Traders Point for the past couple years, and I'm still there, and I really like it a lot. Don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, but I never planned on leaving Covington or leaving North Putnam. And so life changes a lot. And so I just kind of roll with the changes and embrace the new opportunities. And
that's kind of the way to do it.
Yeah.
So what's that commute look like for you?
Commute's not bad at all. It's like 15 minutes.
Good.
So I went from we still live in Brownsburg, but when I taught at Brownsburg, it was 5 minutes. I mean, East Middle Schools, just down the street. So that was nice. And one of the big pulls for me to teach at Traders Point also was the fact that my commute wasn't going to be super long. Like, I added 10 minutes to my commute. And so I still, on Friday nights during football games, during home games, I'll still like come home and hang out with Danny and Cal for a little bit and then go back to school because it's not too bad. So commute's not bad.
Yeah, and that's a big selling point for you as a football coaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not only hang out with Danny and Cal, but you added another one to your family.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we have a new dog, and her name is Campbell. She is 8 months old. She's a Bernese Mountain Dog. She's a rescue. And I was always like, we'll wait and get a dog when like Cal asks for a dog, because Danny's a huge dog person. Yes. And so we were like, we'll wait till Cal asks for a dog and we'll do it. And then Danny is on every dog rescue site in the entire state. And so like anytime there's a new dog rescue, hey, have you seen this? Hey, have you seen this? And I was at school, or maybe been at practice, and she was like, hey, this dog is really, really great. Like, we should go check it out. And I was like, something in me was like, yeah, let's go check it out. And we did, and we hit it off, and she was great with Cal. And so we're like, let's just do it. What are we waiting
beautiful
for?
Beautiful dog, too.
Yeah,
thank you.
Gorgeous.
If you've seen the social media, beautiful dog.
Yes, thank you.
So what are the school mascots for those? It'd be the Cougars?
Cougars at North Putnam. When you were in France this past summer.
Oh, yeah.
When you were in France this past summer.
There we go. I think we're back with audio.
Are we back?
Heyo.
Well, I mean, I'm seeing stuff on the meter. If you want to check Facebook stock, well, we should be back.
I think we're back.
with this audio.
Yeah, it sounds like
That's us? Okay.
Oh, I'm just now noticing Stock has a new phone case too. That's cool.
it
It's
sounds
new to
like
me.
we're back.
I don't know if it's new to you.
Yeah, well,
So-
you would know if you'd been here.
So
I
let's,
don't know if the picture is moving.
well, the picture's not moving, but I can fix that really quick.
Okay.
I mean, I say I can fix that really quick.
This is the beauty of live television, folks.
Yeah,
This is great.
Welcome to our live television.
Welcome to our lives.
Yeah. Amen. That's kind of the way the night and the day has gone.
We're rolling, baby. We're rolling with it.
So let me fix the camera real quick, and then
Talking about tonight, we have senior night at football.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be announcing the seniors, and then we play. Who do we play?
play Ribbon Park. We play the
Okay.
Panthers, which I just showed you their app, which is very nice.
Oh yeah. They've got a great school app.
Yeah, so
Really?
we can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Shout out to
when we
them.
talk about investment.
I've got-
We've got microphones back and we've got video back.
Hey,
Okay, we're good.
Okay, I was going to mention I have another This Week in History
Ooh.
thing.
Oh, well, we'll just plug the History Buffet podcast
Okay.
as we go to that. So throw the logo up. And if you guys want to talk about, so you guys have had a podcast for a while now.
3 years, maybe?
Since COVID.
Yeah. We started during COVID, 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had mentioned to Joey a couple of times, I'd always thought about doing a podcast, but I didn't know what I would do. And this is the second time you've done this to me, Joey.
I don't know if it's going to be good or bad.
No, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Okay.
2015, I mentioned to you at some point in my life, I want to see the Oklahoma City bombing memorial.
Yeah.
About a week later, you showed up at my house with all these notes of, okay, we can go here, here, here. We just need to get hotels for this night and that night. And you had the whole trip planned out.
We did.
Yep.
Yep.
And so I mentioned to you, I was thinking about a podcast. I didn't know what to do. And you texted me and said, we're going to do a history podcast and this and this and that. And we're doing it this day. Let's go.
I had been thinking about the same thing, and as soon as you said that, I was like, let's do it. Why not? What are we waiting for? And we definitely hit the ground running during COVID, and we were like
Every week
we
were
did
on the job.
very systematically put out a new episode every week for several months.
And then school started.
Yeah, and then it just tapered off a little
Things
bit. But
happen. Yeah.
we've
Now it's our
we've kept it
occasional
alive.
series.
Yes, we've kept it alive. And Stock, I was just looking earlier this morning, and we put out a brand new episode. It dropped today.
We did.
So there we go. And our next episode, we're actually recording an episode, exclusive insider information. We're recording an episode today, our Halloween special.
Yep.
And and it'll be our 40th. So we are going to be
really?
over the hill. Today will be our 40th episode.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll have to get a cake or something.
Yeah.
Cake or something.
Or something. I
We'll
don't
just
know.
probably eat donuts.
That'll be fine
Buy a
too.
pumpkin somewhere.
Yeah.
Wait, you said something that, yeah, Joey's always been a go-getter. And I found out,
This is true. This is true. Confirmed.
I found out on that road trip we took, because you wanted, that was kind of like our own trail of tears.
It was.
We saw the Oklahoma City bombing memorial, JFK's assassination spot, and then
Also, inadvertently, it connected with the actual Trail of Tears. We saw several like Indian reservation casinos in
Yes.
south of Oklahoma.
So just a really cheerful trip, it sounds like.
well, then we went to
Wow.
Little Rock High School,
We did.
Yeah.
and then the Lorraine Hotel where Martin Luther King Jr. was
We
assassinated.
did. Yeah.
So that was our fun little summer
Oh
trip.
my, your own little trail of tears.
So in when we were planning it, I'm like, oh, cool. My thought was historical site. In retrospect, we were like, could we pick a sadder historical journey?
Yeah.
I don't know if we could have.
But it was good. I would recommend anyone go see the Oklahoma City Memorial.
Yeah.
That really is an overwhelming.
It's just very unique in terms of like a memorial and like how it pays respect to the victims and things like that. It's very unique, very well done.
The designers of it, they really did a great job.
So-
but
go
just
ahead.
one more thing. I just want to say publicly and for all time, I hate Joey Holt.
Here to here.
I mean, how could you not?
I endorse it. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I endorse
Because
it.
when the alarm goes off at 8 o'clock, he jumps out of bed ready to go.
Oh, that's true.
And I just want to sleep for another 40 minutes.
No denying it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there's some interesting, in the hotel, the alarm goes off. I'm like throwing my stuff in a bag, brush my teeth. I'm like, Stock, we're going to have breakfast. And Stock's like trying to throw things at me. What are you doing?
Well, remember Little Rock? We were in that bad part of town.
Yeah, that was sketchy. It was a motel.
I told
not
you.
a hotel.
I told you if anyone breaks in, I'm throwing you at the door and I'm hiding in the bathroom.
Listen, if anyone wanted evidence as to Stock hating me, Stock said, "I've got an idea." Very excited. "I've got an idea. You sleep by the door. That way, if we get robbed, they'll get you first." And I was like, "All right." And so I did.
Proof that Stock's a great friend.
That's right.
You're a human shield now, Mr. Holt.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So quick rundown of all the stops. I think I've only been to like one or two of those.
Okay. We started with lunch in St. Louis.
Okay, been
We
there.
did.
Been,
And then we stopped in Branson for the night.
Branson,
okay, Branson's
Missouri.
fun.
Yeah, good
Branson's
time.
Fun, yeah.
Very
Really
good time.
fun time. And we found out that the Titanic
The Titanic Museum,
display
Yes.
that they have there,
Yeah.
that's half the size of the original Titanic.
which is crazy to
Oh
me.
wow, yeah, because that thing's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big. We stopped at a very like janky Jesse
that's
James
right.
like Route 66 attraction.
Yeah.
Like the criminal Jesse James.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a museum.
Oh, fantastic.
It was like an outlaw.
It was
yeah.
essentially a room like this where he had a couple guns and some newspaper
like some
articles.
animatronic
Yeah.
things.
It's
It
a
was
small world,
interesting.
but Jesse James version. I love it.
So after that, we left Branson and we stopped at that glass.
Oh, it was it was like a
Chapel.
gas station. That
the glass
too.
chapel.
The gas station. There was a soda place
whole
that was
thing in
cool.
there.
I know.
It was
I
a
know.
memorable gas station.
It
I guess.
was. No, it was in Arkansas, and it was like some kind of chapel in the woods, but it was it looked like something out of Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
it was very neat.
okay.
Made out of glass.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And
That's
right
kinda
down the
cool.
road was a candy shop.
Yes.
And we skipped lunch because we ate
did.
the candy.
Priorities.
And then we made it
heavens,
to
yes.
Oklahoma City, which
did.
is where we stopped at the gas station. And why did we stop at that gas station, Joe?
Because it had like hundreds of varieties of like individually like crafted soda.
Yeah.
And it was on Route 66.
Yeah.
And it had a clever name, but I totally forget what it is.
Pops.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, that was it. It was called
Pops.
Pops. Yeah, it was cool.
Okay, I like
But
it.
2 stories about that. Joey loves cream soda.
I do.
So he got everything but cream soda.
I did.
I love cherry flavored sodas, so I got all cherry flavored
Yeah.
sodas.
It was delicious.
And because the whole front was glass, Joey couldn't find his way out.
Yeah, it was like a funhouse effect. And I almost ran into the door. And I was like, no, but it took me a second. I figured it out. I'm smart like that.
He's good like that.
And then we stopped in Oklahoma City, not
did.
for long though.
No, it was a quick stop.
Yeah.
Just
And
check
then-
the federal building and
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
go. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we headed south, had pizza for supper right
did.
on the Texas border. And then we spent that night in Dallas.
We did.
And entering Dallas after dark
It was a traffic nightmare.
Oh, I've been in Dallas in dark. It's the nightmare.
and at construction too.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
we
And
kept
it was
seeing-
raining.
It was raining too, yes.
Just piling on
Yeah,
now.
it was bad.
And we kept seeing, what was it, Eisenhower?
Oh, there was these highways that were
Highway or
labeled like you can dedicate a highway. It was obviously to Lyndon Johnson,
Yeah,
he's a
Johnson,
Texas guy, and so like, but the highways would always loop in like spaghetti bowl around, so we would see signs constantly for LBJ Highway, LBJ Highway, LBJ Highway, and I was like, is there more than one, or is it one continuous?
Was it a Look Kids Big Ben Parliament moment? From
Yeah,
Vacation?
absolutely. That's exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it
Hey,
was.
it's Big Ben Parliament. Yeah, I love it. That's a cool area though.
It
Like,
was.
once you,
Yeah,
once you
very
actually get there,
It was.
it's really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we spent the night in Dallas, woke up, went to see where JFK was assassinated. I forget the name.
Dealey Plaza.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plaza.
Yep.
Right next to it is a little, it's always strange when they have a gift shop where someone was
Strange.
assassinated.
It is a little weird.
But there was a cafe attached to it. We both got, I think, something to eat there.
We did.
But that's where I met some tourists from Canada.
Oh, okay.
And I heard, as I was just looking around, I heard some French words, but
This was a cool experience for
Yeah.
me.
things were not making sense. And so I started
no.
focusing on their conversation, and I just could not figure out what part of France they were from.
Yeah.
So I just went up and asked them. And they said, "Oh, we're from Canada." Okay, that explains everything.
That makes more sense.
It was like translator stock in the wild, and I was just like here for it. It was great.
like when a dog hears a foreign sound, he perks his ears up and he,
Yeah.
Yes.
I hear my people.
So,
Yes.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
My Dealey Plaza story is we took a train trip down to Texas.
Okay.
My
Nice.
dad and I.
You like traveling on trains.
Yes.
I've
So do
loved
I.
it.
It's a-
We've done it a couple
love
times through the United States, and it's an awesome experience. If you get a chance to do it, Amtrak was really fun.
It was the Amtrak. That's right. That's that's
Yeah,
great.
with the 360 view,
Yeah.
with the cars, that
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
kind of
Oh, I
hang out
forgot
in.
about that.
It's great.
Yeah, they're great.
Okay.
shows you the history buff that Kedrick Sowers is. We pull up into the Dallas train station or right behind it, and he goes, "Well, that looks familiar. I think that's a grassy knoll." And I was like, "What are you talking about, man? There's no way that they stop right behind." And it's the train station with the witness that said that he saw somebody on the grassy knoll, and the back side of Dealey Plaza is where the train station pulls into.
Yeah, because the tracks go right there.
Yeah.
They do. Wow.
So shout out to Ked. It was the most random part of that entire trip.
Eagle eye
Just shooting from the hip, like, no.
Hey, that looks like the grassy knoll. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ked, always wise, knows what Dealey Plaza from the backside looks like.
Because Keddy was the guy in the umbrella.
Well, yeah.
Or that was a woman with the umbrella. I don't remember.
Yes.
He was the woman with the headscarf.
The babushka. What is that called?
Oh, yes.
That's not right. I don't know what it is.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
It's going to be right now.
What if that was Grandma Marilyn?
Oh my goodness. Hey, with the life she lived, it could have been.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. But what a cool trip. What a cool experience.
It was a good time.
Joey made a video about the whole trip. And where can they find that?
It's on YouTube. It's titled Summer 2015 Road Trip something. If you type that YouTube account is now defunct because I made it with my old Covington email. And so I can't access any of those videos, but they're all still there.
But they exist.
They exist. Yeah, they're also, you can still watch it. I used to do a show in class called Last Week in Review. Those are still up there.
Yeah.
Stock is on several of those. Our students used to do we had like
the mannequin challenge.
What was they called? We did mannequin challenge. Yeah, you did like Stock's like, hey, look what pulled up on my YouTube suggestions from like 6 years ago. And I was like, oh,
how random is that algorithm?
I know what's it thinking.
Oh,
so all those old videos are still up there for the public to view.
Yeah. So hey, maybe we'll throw a link in the description then.
Yeah.
So
Why not?
We can link it on this video since we've talked about it. I think that's a good deal.
There's some old Covington gems hidden in there.
Definitely.
Oh, I'm sure. I've seen some of those videos and they're pretty funny.
This is like what was it called? Target Time? Is that right?
Yeah.
Target Time, yeah.
So that's a Covington throwback. I don't know if is that still a thing?
No.
So Target Time was this like bonus period, and we kept trying to like redefine it. And we made it like this. We did like a CMS News. I taught in the middle school. We did like CMS News on a couple episodes. We did like, and we would always do these cold opens with the students. And we did several episodes where we would parody intros to other TV shows. And I got to hand it to the kids. It's really good. We have a Full House, like shot for shot remake parody opening. We have a Law and Order one, and we have a How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, like, and so like and it was all the kids like that came up with it. And so like that's like buried in the archives in the dark corners of the internet. But like
amazing,
the kids did a great job with it. And so like shout out to them for that. It's like Logan Pinkerton, Aaron Reynolds, Benton Berger, Trace Hammer, like that crew, that group. They put a lot in there.
That leads me to a question. You've been away from Covington for so long.
Yeah, they graduated.
Did you teach any of the kids that are here now?
So
I don't think so, right?
I don't think so.
The last group I had as 7th graders were Alan Carfault.
Last year.
Graduated last year.
And okay, so the group that they're seniors now would have been in 6th grade.
Yeah.
So they were in the building, but I didn't have them in class.
Yeah.
Except I think maybe in that like Target Time CMS News group, I did have a couple 6th graders.
Okay.
Like a Ty Smaltz.
Yeah, Ty's watching the broadcast right now.
Yeah,
actually.
shout out to Ty.
Hey,
Shout out. I don't know if he remembers that, but there you go.
Stock's getting a phone call.
This might be a doctor's call.
Yes. Do I need to mute you, Stock?
No, it's fine.
Okay. And so just don't show Stock on camera for a second.
There you go.
I'm gonna mute him anyway.
Hello?
There we go. All right.
But anyway, so that group, they were in 6th grade. So I think that's the last crew I was around.
Oh wow.
So that dates me a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. That's exciting though.
Yeah.
You are live now, Stock.
Okay,
You are
I'm
currently
so
unmuted.
professional leaving my phone on.
Well, that's fine. Life happens, man.
I think it I like it. It kind of adds to the live.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's special that we do it live. I like it.
I think it's going to be fun when the classroom bell rings. Because the bell schedule is still going. Yeah. It's technically a school day, right? Because we're on fall break.
That's awesome.
It rang right before you guys got in here. So we had 45 minutes before it rings again.
Yes.
So you guys will be hearing a bell probably soon.
There we go.
So that's exciting. Stock, I know you said you prefaced the broadcast today with "I have 2 rants."
Yes.
And they are written down, so you've not forgotten them.
Nope.
So I'm gonna change to you.
Okay.
And you can start ranting.
How are my lower thirds?
Do you want a lower third? Here, I'll change it to rant 1.
Okay.
And then I'll pop it up. Okay. That's
we're debuting the rant counter. Okay, that's great.
There's rant one.
Rant one. Okay, McDonald's has corporate stores. They also have owner-operated stores.
Correct.
And corporate stores all get their supplies from one place. Owner-operated, they get them from several different places, but they're all McDonald's approved.
Do I know where this is going?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay. All of the Danville area stores are owner-operated, so they get their own supplies, but they're still McDonald's approved. And last year, they changed their lids for their drinks.
Uh-oh.
And the whole straw is horrible. You cannot get your straw through those.
Perforated enough?
It's not.
Is it paper?
No, it's
that's
not.
good.
No, it's a weird plastic material.
It's plastic, but it's like it didn't cut all the way through.
Oh.
And so you really have to jab it down.
Yeah, like the blade wasn't sharp enough or something.
Yeah. The older ones that had just the 4, they've got 6 slices in them now.
Ah, okay.
And the older ones that had 4, you could just put your straw in and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Go back to the 4 slots.
I thought you were going to go with the adult Happy Meals were sold out last
Those
time.
were sold out.
Yeah.
You were talking me up about those and then they were sold out.
Hey, this is how fat kid I am. I drove to Danville that day to get one. So,
Are they good? Should we get some?
it's legitimately just a basic meal with an adult toy.
Oh, okay.
Well, not that kind of adult toy. No. Do not demonetize. No, it's I don't even remember what the sponsor is. Cactus something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, is it Travis Scott's? No, I don't know.
I don't know. They do so many promotions anymore.
I'm out of the loop, guys.
But there's a birdie, there's a grimace, there is a hamburglar, and then there's one that's the brand.
original Happy Meal toys.
Pretty much, yes. But they're bigger. So hand for size, they're about my hand size. Weird plastic, not the normal like McDonald's toy plastic.
Yeah.
But they are bigger size than what you're getting in most Happy Meals now. But you legitimately only get either a Big Mac or 10-piece nugget, large fries, and a drink for $10.
Oh.
Plus the toy.
There you go.
So I'm assuming you're just paying $5 for the toy at that point,
Pretty much,
right?
essentially.
Yeah. So you had a second rant, Stock. Let me throw the rant counter up.
Okay, rant number 2.
Rant number 2.
You ready?
I'm ready when you're ready.
All right, rant 2. Tendons.
Tendons?
Tendons.
Like your hand tendons?
Yes, tendons. That's all it is.
Brutal.
So I went yesterday, I got a cortisone shot in my wrist.
Yeah.
And I've got the best doctor. When I started teaching here at Covington, he was just out of the Army and starting his private practice.
Oh, cool.
And so we've kind of grown up together.
Yeah.
And so he's just manipulating my wrist and we're talking and laughing and joking. And then he pulls out the cortisone shot and jabs it in there. Tendons, man.
So from the comment section, guys, I just wanted to catch everybody up. Ty did say he was in your target time.
Yes, let's go.
So
shout out to Ty.
Yeah.
Shout out to Target Time. R.I.P.
Rip target time. Yeah. They do have clubs or something now.
I don't know.
I'm not sure what that looks like.
I don't have middle school kids anymore.
Neither do I.
Oh, really?
No, yeah. So I don't know what happens down there.
Interesting.
So we'll have to call in Mr. Beaver or Mr. Anderson for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to our first couple guests.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Ryan McBride watching the podcast today.
McBride.
Yeah, he was the one that told us that our audio was out and
good
our
job.
video was stopped.
Thank you.
That's a
Thank
huge
you,
shout out.
McBride.
Yes, and he
Also-
said it's hard to push the straws in.
See, am I right or am I right?
You are 100% right.
Now, I have to mention McBride because he loves pumpkin spice.
Ooh,
Oh my.
do I.
Anything pumpkin spice, he's all for it.
that's awesome. You're not
You
alone.
think it's a hair color thing?
Oh, that's a good.
Maybe.
It could be.
It's the season of pumpkin spice right
It
now.
is.
It's
It
pumpkin
really
spice
is.
everything.
I love
There are
it.
some really good pumpkin spice things, and then there are some not so good.
I agree.
I saw a
There's
rumor.
a tier.
I saw a rumor about McDonald's with their menu offerings that maybe you guys can shed some light on, or how you feel about it. I did see that they're thinking about bringing in not crinkle cut, but waffle fries.
No.
To compete. I'm assuming to
object.
compete with Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
I
good.
object. Do you, McDonald's? Don't be. I like waffle fries.
Yes.
I love Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
But McDonald's, they have a great product in the fries. I would argue that's why some people go to McDonald's, because the fries are solid. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do
Yeah, that was the rumor I saw on social media. And you know, everything on social media is 100%
100%
true
true.
100% of the time.
all the time.
But I did see that was one of those weird media
Yeah.
outlet things that the algorithm sent me.
Yikes.
Thank you, algorithm. That was really nice of you. Mr. Holt, did you have a rant today?
I had a couple. They're pretty minute.
Okay.
But on my drive here, 74 construction seems to be perpetually always happening. Just when you think it's done, It's not. So I actually texted Stock. I was like, hey, I'm close, like 15 minutes out. And then like no sooner did I send that text than I hit construction traffic. So I think it ended up being fine, but just sort of a nuisance. Two other rants is we were talking about Zach earlier. So shout out to Zach.
Zach Messick. Love
Zach. But every time Stock and I record a History Buffet podcast, Zach will text Stock, and I have to edit out Stock's like phone, like beeping or like hearing the audio of Zach. And
don't edit it out.
I've stopped editing. So if you listen to the History Buffet and you hear like in the background, that is Zach texting us it's on Stock's phone. So I have stopped editing it out because it's just.
Is that like the there it is.
It's Mr. Plinkett.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense now.
There we go. Yeah. And my last rant is that Stock is very well versed in many things.
Yes, true.
And pop culture is one of those things. But I'm looking at the camera here.
Yes, face camera.
I feel like too often I will be like, Stock, how about this movie? I've never seen it.
It happens all the time.
I will like tee up. It happened earlier. I don't know if this was on air or not. We were talking about something. Stock, I've not seen that. So like I'd be like, hey, here's a side dish, which is a segment on the show. And I think on our most recent episode, we talked about Halloween movies. Yeah. And Stock brought up Hocus Pocus, and we were talking about it. And I was like, Stock's got an opinion. Yeah. Here's my opinion. And so I give my opinion. I'm like, Stock, what about you? And he goes, I've never seen it.
Especially with the cast, because you're a fan of like Bette Midler.
And I was just like, oh, Stock, come on. You can hear me just like audibly heavy sigh into the microphone, like,
You're killing me, bro.
Let's play a game. Let's play a game right now. Okay. Name 5 movies. I'll tell you if I've seen them.
Just like any genre.
Any 5 movies.
Oh, man.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Saw half of it.
That's a banger.
It's my favorite 80s movie. Angels in the Outfield.
Never saw it.
You got an angel with you right now, kid. Yeah. There it is.
Yes. The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Saw it originally on TV.
There you go. Okay.
And Dad was mad because
talk
there was
about
something
dating
else
yourself.
he wanted to be on. He wanted to see.
I want to shout out Craig because I have it on DVD.
Oh, yes.
On Life Day years ago, Craig gifted this to us, and I still have it.
Yep, that happened.
I'm
so sorry.
No, don't be. It's great. Movies. Let's go recent. Have you seen the new Top Gun?
Never saw it.
Ooh, Maverick? Yeah.
It's good. Maverick, that's what it is.
It's on the original.
I've seen the clips on YouTube. That's my experience with it.
It's good. There's like no plot, but it's still entertaining.
Yeah.
Jets go fast.
One more. Jets go fast. One more. Die Hard.
Never saw it.
Oh, stop.
Oh, Stock. We're going to beat you with a vengeance.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. We were talking movies, actually. We had a really nice get-together at Jocko's after...
Ooh, I love Jocko's.
Yeah, Jocko's is fantastic. After the virtual learning the other day, Stock. It was the new teacher, Mr. Cheddar, new band director.
Yeah, nice. I had to go to lunch with Zach.
Oh. Hey, we tried to get you to go with us.
His statement dripping with remorse.
I had to go to lunch with Zach.
It was Mr. Cheddar, my brother, Mr. Haig, and Mr. Pettit. Okay. So Holly and Damon got to go with us, and it was a great time. But movies came up, and we talked about our favorite movies of all time. And I said, "There's only one movie that you need to talk about: a Goofy movie, which is
a great movie.
It's the best movie ever made.
It's a great movie.
That's what I said. I said it's the best movie ever made. And then Ryan brought up, Dean Sowers brought up. So what's the best musical ever made? And I said, well, it's a Goofy movie.
Next question.
Exactly. What's the best sport movie ever made? Well, in the beginning of a Goofy movie, Max dunks a basketball. Right. So I'm counting that as
also the Goofy movie sequel. They do like the X Games.
Extremely Goofy movie.
That's
yes.
it. Yeah.
So, but that brought up an idea, and I wanted to run this by you guys. I don't think I've pitched it to either one of you yet. So this is brand new. Ryan had the idea. He got a hold of me on text later that day and said, hey, I need to run something by you. What if, this was to the group chat, what if we performed a Goofy movie? So we showed the movie to everybody.
Nice.
Up on the screen in the multipurpose room. And then during the music parts, we had kids sing and act it out. How much fun would that be?
That would be fun.
That would be a good time. I love Powerline.
Oh, that's Tevin Campbell. That's a classic.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get copyrighted.
Oh, dang it. I knew it was going to be me, guys.
No, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. We've done way worse.
Okay.
This might surprise you guys. I've never seen a Goofy movie.
Dude, it's like 80 minutes of pure
See
bliss.
previous rant.
Seriously, that was rant number 3 for Mr. Holt. If you need to skip back, we had audio during that, so you're good.
Yes.
But no, like The Little Mermaid, I could do the whole Little Mermaid by myself.
great.
Beauty and the Beast, Lion King.
La Belle et la Bête.
Yep.
To quote what I think Stock would say as a response to that, I've only seen good movies.
I've only seen good movies.
Oh, well, that's not true. I've seen some of the movies you've seen.
Well, that also isn't true because I've also seen Aladdin and Hercules, and those are total junk.
Is that the live action Aladdin or the cartoon one?
Either, both.
I don't want to throw us off because I feel like this episode could be 3 hours long, and I apologize if you need, so cut me off at any moment.
This is a day-long episode.
Do you guys remember when we went? I don't even remember the movie we went to go see in Crawfordsville, but they tried to bribe us to see Gem and the hologram because no one wanted to see
Oh,
it.
shoot. Okay, the movie we went to see was a Vin Diesel movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Where he's like a witch
hunter.
or whatever.
It had Frodo in it, I think.
Yeah. And
it did,
we
yeah.
wanted to see that. But guys, I can get you into the gym for nothing. You were like,
And then we were like,
No, we went to see The Martian, but it had just stopped playing.
oh, yeah, the Martian.
That's
Yeah,
what it
Matt
was.
Damon.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was a good time.
Yeah.
We're trying to talk the people at the State Museum into letting us watch Star Wars anyway.
I seem to remember that I was the one who wanted to see Gem.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I kind of liked that cartoon. It was a stupid cartoon.
there was an argument about that.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to see Jim.
But it's free.
pass.
We could see it for free.
There's
Yeah.
a reason.
They're going to have to pay us.
And then I saw the reviews, and I'm glad we skipped it.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that to this day.
No, neither have I.
Yeah, funny how that works.
I've never seen it.
Funny how that works. Does anybody have any rants before we move on? I got a really big topic next. I think is really important, so I want to kind of focus on that.
And rant it out.
I still have one. The thing about the week that I still haven't mentioned.
Oh, what's that?
I just saw this on Twitter today.
Ooh.
So it's 100% official.
100%
Breaking news.
official. Maybe you can go into more detail. You don't need to.
Okay.
Right now, British politics is a mess.
Oh,
I think just
Absolute
politics is a mess.
there it is.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
But Queen Elizabeth passed away 3 or
Right.
4 weeks ago. She was the longest reigning queen in British history, second longest in world history.
Wow.
And just on Twitter today, somebody put longest serving senior UK officials in days. King Charles III, 36 days. Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng, 38 days. He was just fired. Prime Minister Liz Truss, 38 days.
Oof.
And then they added, do you know Larry the Cat?
Oh yeah.
Larry the Cat, 4,290 days.
Yeah. Make him a MP, baby. Give him some legislative power.
Make it official.
But isn't that strange how history works? They just
That
went
is
from
strange.
70 years to just over a month.
Wow. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's kind of today's society. Everybody wants instant gratification. Everything's got to be delivered in 15 seconds.
That's right.
Even customer service emails. Hey, Cal Clothing,
Yay.
thank you. But that's kind of the way everything's going right now.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of leads us into our next topic. We've got education elsewhere.
Okay.
Kind of what does that look like? And then our big question lately, Mr. Holt, has been, and our decree from our principal, Mrs. Carfault, has been, how do you get student investment?
Yeah.
So we can kind of bind those together, lump those together.
Yeah.
And what does middle school and high school education, because you've been at both
Yep.
levels, what does that look like elsewhere? And then how do you get people involved, students and other teachers?
It's great.
It's loaded.
Yeah, it's a great premise. Great question. It's different for every school.
You're on the spot. You have to come up with concrete answers right now.
I need
At least
actual
3 because we need to
policy.
send that email.
We need it right now.
If you can just actually type it while you're talking and then hit send.
Make it happen.
That's a great point. It's a great question. So it's different everywhere you go, obviously. I'm trying to think of the places I've been most recent. So at Traders Point, it's something that we will also try to push this year because we're just trying to be big on like the student life and like kind of build that aspect of it. And so for the first year, for the first time ever this year, Traders Point, we started clubs. Like we had a couple one-off clubs.
Cool.
Like
Yeah.
we had an FCA and we had like a knitting club, but there wasn't like an actual like sort of club menu, I guess, if you will, like things for people to choose from. So we pitched it kind of before the school year started. We're going to have a club fair. And so like if you as a staff member wanted to sponsor a club, you could put it on like the club menu. And then we gave like a week for students to come up with their own ideas for clubs, and it had to be approved by the front office. And then we would send out like a Google form. They'd choose like they ranked their interest levels, and then we had a club fair where they could kind of like get a little bit more information and they could sign up from there. And it's been going great. I actually sponsor a history club.
Ooh,
so
nice.
it's great. Selfishly, I love it. And I did not come up with it. I actually there's a group of 5 or 6 students who came up to me and were like, hey, do you want to sponsor this? And I said, absolutely. And it's I think one of the things that helps with not just that club, but all of the clubs, it's very student led. Okay. And so because at the end of the day, we want them to be involved. And so we want them to be in the driver's seat, so to speak. I mean, we're there sort of like the guardrails to make sure, things are getting done the right way. But, they're very much in the driver's seat. And so like our very first history club meeting, I said, what do you guys want this to be? Like, what do you want to do? Yeah. We have clubs every Friday during a flex period. And so I'm like, on Friday, like when this period is about to happen, what are we going to do that makes you excited? Like, hey, I want to come here and I want to do this. Like, let's make it that. Let's not make it an obligation. Let's make it fun. And so they've really, shout out to them. It's 100% them. They've come up with the ideas. We've done everything from reenacting a scene from Hamilton. We did an 80s themed trivia. We did, they called it story time, where they wanted to research their own like historical things that they thought were cool, like a sort of rabbit hole kind of thing. And they talk about that. So anyway,
kind of a mini history buffet.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah.
You're getting all of your ideas from them, aren't you?
Yep. So.
Oh, just as an aside.
Yeah.
I've got ideas for my next 2 recordings.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get spoilers here?
No.
Maybe.
Oh, man.
No,
Stick around.
You can't build us up like that and not deliver.
No, because Joey and I, we never know what the other one's going to talk about.
That's kind of some of the mystery.
And we're just waiting for the day when we both have the same thing.
That's what makes the magic happen, I guess.
Exactly.
Right?
So I don't know, going back to the question, I guess if you put students, like if you give them ownership of it, and that can vary depending on the club, I think that's going to be the driver, because you want them involved, you want them to make it their own thing. So kind of giving them student ownership's a big part of it. When I was at Brownsburg, student involvement, there was just we had a lot of kids, so there was a lot of different things. And so like it's kind of unique to a bigger school in the sense of like, if there's like a sort of a niche kind of thing, like there's enough kids to kind of get it going. Like we had like a D&D club.
Oh, yes.
And there was just a lot of kids that were really involved in that. But I don't think you have to have a lot of kids to do it. I think you just need to find the kids who are interested. I mean, because listen, it's night and day, Brownsburg, Traders Point in terms of student enrollment. And like our history club is 5 students to me. And they love it because they're sort of in the driver's seat. So I think that's got to be a big component of it. I think if there's a way you can get like community involvement, whether it's community involved in the school or vice versa, the kids involved in the community, I think that is awesome as well, because then it shows like a broader spectrum of it's not just us, what we're doing at the school, but this is a community thing. Like this is and it's also, I think if kids see that, it pays dividends down the road, and it makes it seem bigger than themselves and make it seem bigger than the school.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of has an allure to it. I remember when, again, it's kind of throwing it back a little bit, when we had the bicentennial, Carol down at the History Museum got a hold of me and said, hey, do you guys want to do a time capsule? I said, yeah, let's do it. But I don't want to decide. I want the kids to decide what goes in there. And so I told the kids about it, like, hey, we're going to do a time capsule. And they're kind of like, I don't know. But I was like, hey, it's going to be like a community thing, and they're going to like, the community is going to like take out the time capsule, and I forget what it even is, 50, 75 years. I actually forget, but I was like, and it's going to be in the courthouse. And they were like, oh, okay, let's, that.
Oh, like this is a real thing. Yeah.
So that community aspect kind of pulled them into it a little bit. So I think if you kind of have that side of it too, I think it, plays on a couple different levels.
Yeah.
So
you're building community investment for the future as well. So they're proud of their school and that they're staying in this area.
Yeah, 100%. So I think those 2 things are the kind of the 2 things that come to mind. So
that's exciting. You want to add anything to that, Stock? So the investment question was one of the questions we were tasked with.
Yeah.
So how do you get your kids invested, not only in your program, but, outside of school as well?
I think an important component is teacher investment as well.
Yeah. Oh,
absolutely.
huge.
Yeah.
Every school that you've been to, Joey, you jump right in with both feet and you're part of the school.
Yeah.
I'm not naming any names. I'm not criticizing anyone.
But he's looking straight at me.
Maybe. Because I know the environment is different. Our culture is different.
Yeah.
For some people, they don't see teaching as a career. They see it as, this is my job until I get another job.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah. You don't seem to have the personal investment in the school from the educator standpoint. And so if we're not demonstrating that, why are the kids going to be invested?
That's a great point.
That is a great point. And it kind of, go ahead, Joey.
No, yeah, I was just going to say, like, I think, and this is me, right? This is my opinion. But I think one of the reasons why I love teaching is that element of like building relationships with kids and with students.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't do that, like you're missing a lot of what makes teaching great. You know what I mean? Like that, just like building those relationships and just investing in kids' lives, like that is what makes teaching worth it and what makes it great. And I think if you don't do that, then it can very easily become like a short-term kind of career until you do something else.
Yeah.
But I think getting that involvement, that's a great point from the teachers. I think that's a huge key component of it.
That reminded me from a lesson I learned a long time ago at this point was any job you do, take pride in it. And work your hardest at that job. If you're delivering pizzas, which I delivered pizzas for 15 years, if you didn't know that, do your best.
Yeah.
Do what you can to make that, your best experience. If you're in the classroom, do your best every day. Put 100% into everything. It doesn't matter the job. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're invested in it and you're doing your best, you're going to feel rewarded at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
There's an old saying.
And that's where the frustration comes from too.
There's an old saying, an honest day's work for an honest day's pay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we could zoom in on my hat, it says, what does it say? Dirty hands, clean money.
I like that.
So I think that's a really good motto to live by. And we were always told, we talked about this earlier before the podcast, if you start something, you finish something.
Yeah.
And the investment is the biggest part of that. And if it's something you enjoy or it's something that you feel rewarded or gratified by, that's great. That adds to the experience. So
Something else about modern culture, modern society, modern philosophy. Like you said earlier, everyone wants that immediate feedback, that immediate result, that immediate response. But that endpoint, that might be your goal, but the fun is the journey along the way.
Oh yeah,
That's where you learn, that's where you grow, that's where you build those relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I would agree with that 100%. Is it time for the speed round?
Is it?
Ooh.
Guys, I think it's time for the speed round.
I do have
Go ahead.
a cool question for Joey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned you use Google Classroom at Trader's Point.
Aha.
With a T.
Canvas versus Google Classroom, which do you like better?
Well,
That's good.
so that's a great question. It's a very loaded question. So I'm going to throw this out there.
And which do the kids like better?
That's a great point. When I started here, you guys remember this.
Oh, I remember.
There was like a very tumultuous is like too big of a word, but like when there was like an interesting like flux period where we were like Canvas but Classroom, but we're going Google but to Canvas, and so then it was like all Canvas.
Yeah.
And so when I was here, it was very much Canvas. Which I got familiar with. I liked it. Had some issues. It was kind of clunky. The interface was not great. It looked like the old College Board.
Some things never change.
Yeah, and so we had that.
Somewhat better.
When I went to North Putnam,
Minimally.
it was all minimally, right? Underline minimally. When I went to North Putnam, we were Google Classroom. And so I was like, okay, like Google Classroom all the way. There we go. When I went to Brownsburg, we did Schoology. Which is kind of like Google Classroom, and Canvas like had a child, I guess. I don't know. That's weird. Yep. It was okay. It was fine. And then now at Trader's Point, we are Google Classroom. So I've done all of the learning management systems. They all have their pros and cons. And I haven't seen Canvas since I was here. So I don't know how different it is.
Not much.
Not really.
Not much.
Pretty much the
Changed
same.
things around. There's some usability fixes that were really nice.
Yeah.
A while ago,
Yeah.
but it's the same thing.
Yeah, once I got the hang of Canvas, it was fine. It was okay. And I remember there was a feature where you could like sync up or like transition your Google Classroom stuff into Canvas. And that always was like a hassle. So I just put everything in Canvas. I was like, this is easier. Google Classroom, the kids like it a lot. It's very user-friendly for kids, especially for middle school kids. It's very like the interface, and especially I always tell kids to click on the classwork tab, because it's like I like organize things by unit and by chapter, and it's very like distinct where everything is at. Because the stream, I don't love the stream on Google Classroom because it gets kind of busy and stuff gets lost in the shuffle. And so I tell kids always to go to the classroom. I don't love the stream part of Google Classroom, but I think everything else is pretty good. However, I don't put assignments on Google Classroom, but I don't use like the quote gradebook feature of Google Classroom because our gradebook is a different system. And so I don't like balancing two gradebooks, and did I grade this in Classroom and I didn't grade, you know what I mean? That's
we're the same way with Canvas actually in Harmony.
Really? Okay. So things like that I don't love about Google Classroom, but I think from a student standpoint, I think the kids, it's very easy to navigate. It's very easy to find where stuff's at, which makes it nice. Schoology was nice in that sense too. Canvas I feel like had a steeper learning curve than Google Classroom did, but that was, again, it's been, I think 6 or 7 years since I've used Canvas. But
our guest from last week just gave a shout out to Mr. Holt. She said, "Mr. Holt, good to see you." So Mrs. Smaltz.
Thank you, Mrs. Smaltz. Mrs. Smaltz is awesome.
Yes.
Love Mrs. Smaltz.
And thanks for being on the podcast last week.
Yes. And her husband's great too. Shout out to Corey.
And you have a keychain coming your way.
Yay, keychains.
Yeah. So we got our merch in. We'll pan to Mr. Holt's camera.
Look at this. Mrs. Smaltz, I can vouch. Look at this. These are so cool.
They're pretty good in person.
These are awesome.
So you got one
These
coming
are
your way.
legit.
I might just throw it inside your door.
Nice.
But it's coming your way.
Nice.
A question I've always wondered, Mr. Holt, and see if you can address this.
Ooh.
I don't know. You're a big football guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love football.
So
Never saw it.
never saw it. Throw back to movies.
That's awesome.
Never saw it. I love that talk. Thank you. So you're a big football guy. You've coached football.
Yes.
You've been around it your whole life. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You also did track while you're here. So a lot of cool stuff. Knowing the investment that it takes to be a head coach, would you ever want that responsibility at a small program versus large program? That kind of idea. What would your ideal position be when it comes to football?
My ideal position is to be an assistant coach. I have been a head coach in different capacities. There's just so much off the field that you have to deal with that it takes away from, like, for me, one of the reasons why I love football, and I played all throughout elementary and junior high and high school, and football for me, even as like a teacher or as a coach, is like the school day is done. I get to kind of just wash it away and just like have fun at football practice. Like football practice is fun for me, and I go out there and like that is a nice reset for me, and I like that. And if I become a head coach, it's just more administrative type things like taking attendance and who's not here and here's a discipline issue, and here it's just more of kind of like the school day stuff carried over. So I feel like it would lose that aspect. When I was assistant coach at North Putnam. When I was at Brownsburg East, I was this is going to sound fancier than it is, and it's just because no one else wanted to do it.
Humble brag.
It was the director of football operations, it just means that I was the 8th grade head coach and I had to deal with all the discipline issues. That's all that means.
Oh, I love it. Fancy that title.
Yeah. So like in that, and it was, I was the head coach, and that's cool, I guess, but I didn't like it because it just was so much like all of the, and I wanted this to happen because this way it should be, but I told the teachers, hey, if you have a discipline issue with kids, like tell me about it. I can address it. We'll go, like, send me all of those emails. And all of those emails I did get, which was fine. And it was, I actually really enjoyed my time doing that. It was just a lot more than you said ideal, and that just is not my ideal situation.
Yeah, so you weren't the assistant to the regional manager, you were the regional manager.
Correct. Yeah. Now I will say, I have a caveat. The track is different. When I was here, shout out to Coach Dickerson, shout out to Trevor. When I was here, I coached with Trevor and Amber Thompson. Sorry,
who's back? She's back in the elementary.
Told me. That's so awesome.
Come on the show, Amber. That would be so much fun.
Yes, come on the show.
Yes. We three coached together, and then when she got married, and she was like, hey, do you want to do this? And I was like, sure, why not? Also, again, no one else wanted to do it. And so I was the quote girls head coach, and Trevor was the boys. And so we did that, and that was fine because I don't know how to put this diplomatically. There are not as many eyes on the track season as there are during the football season.
100%.
And I'm totally okay with that. And I love track. I did track in junior high and high school. I was very mediocre at it. But I enjoy coaching track a lot, and I enjoy the kids a ton. And I am currently the head track coach at Traders Point. Again, no one else wanted to do it.
Make up a fancy title. Make up a fancy title.
Exactly.
Director of Track and Field Operations.
Hey, there we go. I like it.
That's your new lower third. I'm changing that right now.
So it was just one of those things that I don't mind being the head coach of track, just because there's a lot less issues, just because there's fewer people. I mean, and so I don't mind doing that, but it's just,
Yeah, throw that lower third on right now.
There it is.
Director of Track and Field Operations,
so fancy,
Mr. Holt.
So important.
And I think that's an important point, though, when you talk about investment of like at the head coach and assistant coaches. I think outside looking in, not a lot of people realize how much work actually goes into any sports season, any kind of extracurricular activity. But we can talk about international banquet at some point too.
Oh, we could, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a big proponent of that.
Yeah.
But just the amount of work, the paperwork, the dealing with kids, dealing with parents, dealing with, hey, somebody said this, somebody said that, somebody didn't show up to practice. What do we do about it? How do we discipline kids for certain things?
Yeah.
There's a lot of headaches involved. And I think outside looking in, not a lot of people recognize or appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's being on the other side, it's not fun all the time.
Right.
But
if you apply that to the school, the academic side of it, the principal is like the head coach, and we are all assistant coaches.
Absolutely.
Who gets all of the junk to deal with?
Yeah, that's a great parallel.
I'm director of business and technology then.
I'm just the French teacher.
Department.
Which is also why
I think that actually defaults to Mr. Carl.
We could do like an assistant too.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Assistant to the regional manager.
Yes. That's why I would never want to be in administration. I just can't do it. Like you can't pay me enough money. I was like, it's the same answer I just gave. Like I get up in the morning, I love to teach. Like I want to teach history. Like that gets me excited. And if I didn't have that, I would not enjoy going to work every day.
And that's a popular quote about history, politicians, and everything now is the people who want the power probably shouldn't have the power.
Right. And that's
history. And I think, but before we get to the speed round, I want to mention, I think you teach a very, very important subject.
Thank you.
Because if you're on vacation, if you're going somewhere, checking out the community, history is always important. You know where you came from in order to see where you're going. And if you get an actual enthusiasm for learning historical facts, learning where you came from, all that kind of stuff, you're going to have a good time wherever you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So like you go to vacation in Texas, you can find certain stuff. You go to the Eastern Seaboard, you can find all kinds of crazy Civil War stuff, Revolutionary War stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really important topic. And thanks for teaching it.
Can I ask Joey one more thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's just jumped into my mind. When I was in history class, and this is many, many years ago, because I'm about 10 years older than you, Craig, and
10 years younger than Angela Lansbury. I'm just kidding.
Maybe.
Oh my! Shots fired.
Shots fired. I apologize.
You're 20 years younger than her.
Seriously. Oh man, I feel bad.
I'm considerably older than you.
Yes.
History class for me was learn this date, learn this date, learn this date.
Yeah.
But when I took my American Lit class, history became more of this process, of this
absolutely
this timeline of one thing bleeding into another and that leading to that. And history made more sense to me learning those connections rather than this date, and that date.
Yeah.
Kind of the cause and effect of everything.
Yeah, cause and effect. That's a good way of putting it.
I tell students pretty early on, I say, hey, we're not going to memorize dates. Their dates are important, right? I mean, there is some important dates that you need to know. Years are important. You need to have, just for context, that stuff. So I'm not saying it's not important, but the test question isn't going to be what year did, the Pilgrims land at Plymouth. That's not like, how about why?
The Magna Carta.
Right. Yeah. Like about why did they, like, let's look at things that matter instead of like just numbers. And again, numbers matter, but that's not big on that.
I think the numbers only matter to a point to explain like how we got there.
Right.
Like what was the cause and where was the effect?
Yeah.
What happened before something else happened. So important, but not overwhelmingly important in the grand scheme of things. All right. Anybody have anything else before we get to the speed round? We've got 5 really difficult questions. We've told Mr. Holt not to peek, but I'm sure he has.
Do we want to mention that yet? Or at the
Oh yeah, big shout out Fields of Faith next Wednesday. Thanks, Zach, for letting me know that Fields of Faith was next Wednesday.
Yes.
Let's get Stock's reaction to when I mentioned Zach. Okay. Hey, Zach was really instrumental in helping. Okay, I knew that was happening.
Yes.
So it's going to be in the NPR, from what I understand. We've got a band performing at least 3 songs, and then there's like a worship section after that. So. Okay. Really cool stuff going to happen Wednesday after school, sometime in the evening. I'm not sure dates and times other than that.
Nice.
That it's Wednesday.
Everyone's invited.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out to Fields of Faith. When I was here, I attended many, and it was awesome. It was a great time. It was a great night. Super strongly recommend.
Yeah, substitute bass player as well.
Yes, that is true. You never know what you're going to get at Fields of Faith.
And that's the voluntold here at Covington High School. Somebody's got to do it, so you might as well step up and do it, right, Stock?
That's right.
All right, so we've got speed round.
Let's do it.
Okay, so 5 questions. No, Ty says the calendar tab on Canvas is goated. So that's a great point. Great point, Ty. Keep you on track. Somebody's got to. Before we get to that, I do want to mention Kiss Country 103.1 Game of the Week is tonight at Covington for Senior Night. We are playing Riverton Park. So if you can't be out at the game, go to Facebook, Kiss Country 103.1, and watch it.
Go Trojans.
Trying to finalize some sectional plans as well. Oh, that could have been my rant this week. Oh, my. We'll do it next week. I've got a really big rant.
Okay, no rant from me.
Oh my, plan on no rant.
Okay. Man, that is a cliffhanger. I'm interested.
Yeah, I don't get worked up about a lot of stuff, Stock, but this one could be rough.
I'll write it down, Craig.
Please do. Yes.
Sectional.
Oh, and the school bell just rang. I don't know if we'll be able to hear that on the broadcast because that's faint back here.
Oh yeah, it is.
I like that. All right, we're to the speed round.
Let's go.
The big 5, as we always like to call it. All right, so first question, kind of a fun one with your experience lately. How did you get to CHS?
Okay, that's a great question. Okay, so I don't know how far back.
Well, thinking back, it's been a minute, right?
Yeah, so when I
was born on a chilly Thursday afternoon.
1989 in March. So when I graduated from. I'll give you the sort of abridged version. I don't get too far into the details, I guess. But when I graduated from college, when I was going into college, I was like, I want to be a teacher. I knew that. So I was like very much set on that. So throughout college, I did all the teaching stuff, practicum and student teaching and all that. And I substitute taught even, and was a football coach while I was in college. And so it was all great. But after I graduated, I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this anymore because it's all I have been doing. You know what I mean? For the past couple of years. And so you have those moments in your life. And so I moved and did a lot of different jobs, and then eventually came to the conclusion that I miss teaching and I like teaching. And so I applied for several jobs. At the time, I was living in Boston, Massachusetts, doing a myriad of different jobs. And I threw out a couple applications, and one of the applications was to Covington for a high school history teacher. And I was like, all right, my parents are FC grads. So
yeah, shout out to your parents. Yeah. I've seen several basketball games with your dad.
Yes. And my mom's side of the family is sort of, my dad too, I guess, the FC royalty. Shout out to Darks. But anyway, so I knew Covington, right? I was aware of it, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, like smaller school. You know, I graduated from a smaller ish school as well, and I was like, that would
Wait,
be
did
cool.
you say Dark? That's your mom's maiden name?
Yeah.
Okay, her Facebook name makes much more sense now.
Hey, there you go.
That light bulb moment.
There we go. So I applied here and I applied a couple other places, and I got feedback from Adam Welchens, principal at the high school, and I got to think of the timeline on this. I flew home for a brief window, and during that window, Adam Welchens was like, "Hey, do you want to meet for sort of an interview kind of thing?" And we met at when we where did we meet? We met at the Barnes and Noble in Lafayette.
Oh, it's a random location.
Yes, the Barnes and Noble in Lafayette for kind of this very sit down informal, I guess, interview is what you call it. And I felt like it went well. It was a short window. Flew back to Boston, and I was working at 47 Brands, a clothing company, and I got a phone call from Adam. I was like, oh, I got nervous. This is the call. Did I get it? Didn't I? So I go in the back alley and I take the call.
In the back alley.
It was in the back alley.
There's a section.
This is getting shadier and shadier as we go along.
It was in the middle of the day. There's all these brownstones. It's not. It's not shady.
Goodness.
It's not shady. Anyway, it's it did sound bad. He called me and said, "So I've got good news and bad news. So the bad news is we filled the high school history position, but we filled it in-house with the teacher who already teaches at Covington.
Yeah.
And would you still be interested in a middle school opening?" And I was like, maybe. I was like, yeah, let me think about it and get back to it. I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I think I wanted to get back into teaching enough to where I was like, yeah, I'll think about it. And so I got in contact with Steve Reynolds. He wanted to have an interview. So I said, okay. And a couple weeks later, I had an interview, and I also had an interview at Knightstown High School.
Okay. Yeah.
And I made the final two there, and I was like, okay, Knightstown or Covington. So I met with Steve, had an interview over at the middle school, and I remember leaving the interview being like, I didn't get this job.
Oh, really?
I was like new to the interview. I mean, I had done teaching, but it had been a little while since I was in the classroom. I was like, I don't know if my answers were good. I just didn't know. I didn't get a great read on it. I was like, I just don't feel like it went well. I was like, it's okay. I got final two in Knightstown, felt good about it. Heard back from Knightstown, didn't get it.
Oh,
and I was like,
panic sets in.
Yeah. And then I got a call from Steve, and he said, we'd love to have you. And I was like, all right, let's do it. I'm ready. So I moved home, and me and Craig and Jordan were in the infamous hiring class of 2013. And
seems like yesterday.
The rest, as they say, is history. So
that's cool.
I got hired on to teach 7th and 8th grade in the middle school, and I did that for 4 years, and I loved it.
Yeah, I would
Absolutely.
say Steve has a very interesting interview style.
He does. And I love Steve.
He's great.
It's
He's
very
fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. And we had a similar story from Mr. Anderson with his interview of Mr.
Very
Reynolds.
much so.
So my question after that story is to Stock. What did you think Dark meant on the Facebook profile?
That's true.
Her name is Deke Dark Holt.
Yeah.
And I was always reading Dark Holt as one word. And it never made sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom's name is Deke, and her maiden name is Dark.
Dark Holt. Did you think it was like a Marvel reference?
I don't know.
That's a great,
I don't know.
like villain, Dark Holt.
The Dark Holt. I love that. And one of our co-hires, she always said that Danger was her middle name. Did you ever hear that? So Jordan Gerbs, the last three and the first three of her first and last name were Danger.
Yes.
So Jordan Danger.
That's awesome.
Or G-Box, as one of the kids called her because they couldn't pronounce her name. That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a minute ago too. Holy moly. So that leads us back to one of our big questions, mostly geared towards high school teachers, high school administrators, high school workers, but you were a Trojan for a while.
I was. Yeah.
And it's nice that you come back and you can kind of just fall right back into it with everybody here. Which is really cool. So the question is, what does Trojan pride mean to you?
That's a great question. Man, so like Trojan pride to me is just like taking, we kind of mentioned earlier, right? Like taking ownership in what you do, like regardless of what it is. I mean, like in sports, we break on Trojan pride a lot, and that has its place in the sports arena, but it also has its place in like the classroom. It has its place in like everything you do. Like just do it with a strong work ethic. Do it like bring your best effort forward. Maybe that's the best around, maybe it's not, but at the end of the day, question.
I would agree. Oh.
I bring to the table, guys. This is what I do.
Oh, we're good now.
We're so good.
If you ever want anything to break, invite Joey.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, thanks.
Most accurate, but it's a song I used to listen to a lot in high school. I still listen to it every now and then. Like when it comes on, yes, I still listen to an iPod. Like on shuffle, like I'll play it through. Yeah, it's called Something I Call Personality. Something I Call Personality by Newfound Glory, which is a pop punk band.
Shout out to NFG.
That's what I'm dating. Yeah, cue the stock. We need like a zinger button that's like never saw it, never heard it.
Another counter for stock.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Newfound Glory was like a pop punk band from like the early 2000s. They're still around. They still play shows.
Yeah. It's all downhill from here.
It's all downhill from here. My Friends Over You, just
classic.
banger after banger. But they have a song called Something I Call Personality. I'll go with that.
Classic.
We'll
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So our fourth question: sock, sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, sock, shoe.
And I have no updates for this.
Well, I'm not a serial killer, so it's sock, sock, shoe, shoe.
Where do pants fit in that equation?
All right, so I did see the full disclosure. I saw the episode where Stock had the pants situation.
The meltdown.
I will tell you this, and Stock, I just want you to know,
It's the him.
maybe we are kindred
It's
spirits.
the him.
I've done that many times where I will put on pants before I put on socks. I don't do it all the time. I don't do it every day, but I do that sometimes. I'll put on pants. And it's more of an issue of convenience. Like,
you misunderstood then. It's sock, pants, shoe.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I do that.
All right.
And it's
He's
just,
saying sometimes he doesn't put the pants on before the socks.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sometimes he does.
I'm old.
But so it's a purely
Headphones don't help
convenience.
hearing. Pure convenience. I like that.
It is because like it's just like if the socks are there, then I'll just put them on. But if the pants are there first, then I will put on the pants. It's all in the dresser, and it depends on which drawer I pull out.
Does Danny lay it out?
Yeah, I was going to say.
No. It's all about like, all right, so when I'm in the morning, I'm getting ready, I'm thinking like, what outfit do I want to wear? And if I can think of an outfit, then I'll go like pants first. And I'm like, if I still am stalling in my mind, I'm like, well, I know I've got to wear socks. So I'll put the socks on. I buy myself more time.
So I think more appropriate for you is when does the scream to Danny, hey, where are my pants, fall into that equation?
No, I don't do that. Incorrect.
Have you seen my pants?
Who does laundry?
We both do.
Ooh,
yeah, we both do. It's a very much a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll generalize this last one. So,
Okay.
what would you like your teaching legacy to be? So, how would you like to be remembered?
As a trader.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
gonna be
100% definite. Now it's permanent.
Yeah, I can't do anything about it now.
Mission accomplished.
So I guess I have two answers because I have, again, full disclosure, I've seen the other episodes, and so I know my legacy at Covington is the usual question, and then legacy of teaching. I was like, whoa. My legacy is I break stuff.
We all do.
Yes. So my legacy at Covington, I was like a blip on the radar, right? Like my time here was very tiny.
But you made a big impact.
Yeah, even several years after you left, even kids would still talk about you quite a bit.
Yeah.
That means a lot. I think I said two answers. It's the same answer. I just want to like know that kids were cared for. Like kids, like I'm going to paraphrase. 'Cause I'm really bad with quotes. Maya Angelou has a quote that says something like, "People aren't always going to remember the things that you said or the things that you did, but they'll always remember how you made them feel." And kids aren't going to know all the history I taught them. That's fine. And they aren't going to always remember all the things I coached them. That's fine. But like, did they feel cared for when I was, when they were in the classroom, when they were on the team? Like, did they know that I had their best interests at heart? You know what I mean? Like I was in it for them, to help them in their journey. Like that's what I want. Like, because I think that's important. I think that's why teaching matters. I think that's why what we do is so just integral to like, just kids in general. So like teaching legacy, I just want like kids know that they were cared for, that they mattered, that they were important because they are, and that they're capable of doing things. Like don't like subscribe to like these maybe self-appointed labels or labels that like other people give you because of your background, how you grew up, and just like you're capable of doing good things, like, and just like own that and like be confident in yourself, believe in yourself. I think that's important because like it's just there's so many things that like teach the opposite of that in culture. It's just like that, and like just even human beings in general, like we all struggle with like a negative self-talk, like I'm not good enough, or you're not worthy, or you're here's all the things that can go wrong. And so like the more voices they have in their life that support them and lift them up is better. And that's what I would like my legacy to be, just that kids knew that they were cared for in the classrooms and on the teams, and that I had their best interests at heart.
Yeah, and John Acuff, who is one of the Dave Ramsey guys, he always says that's called critics math. In your head, 100 positive comments is equal to 1 negative comment.
Right.
And that 1 negative comment will override everything every time. And it's that negative voice in your head. If you can overcome it, hey, you're golden.
Yeah.
Right. But if you can't, then that's something we all struggle with.
Yeah.
We're to the end. How much more do you guys want on camera?
I have a
Go ahead,
quote.
Stock.
I have a quote from C.S. Lewis.
Ooh.
And
nice.
I made this into a poster. You can make your own posters and hang them up in your room.
Oh, shout out Canva.
Yeah.
Is that where you're using?
Canva is great.
Actually, I just did it myself and then printed it off at CVS.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is C.S. Lewis. This is for my creative writing class.
Okay.
Since it is so likely that children will meet cruel enemies, let them at least have heard of brave knights and heroic courage. Otherwise, you are making their destiny not brighter but darker.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yep.
That's a good sentiment. Anything else you guys want to add before we clock out of here?
No, not really. I'll say this: go Trojans. I don't know the odds on this, but I know that next week starts sectional play.
Yes, sir.
And I'm rooting for the Trojans against North Vermilion. They got in sectional, and like awkwardly, we at Traders Point, we are in the same sectional as you guys. So there is a chance, we play Clinton Central next week, but there is a chance that if we win and Covington wins, we could square off against each other, and the game would be at Covington. So I might be back next week, but you guys got to hold up your end of the bargain and win.
I would like to see
North Vermilion
a
next
Knights
week.
versus Trojans matchup. That would be great.
You have to win against Clinton Central.
Deal.
Because I went there for kindergarten, and the teacher accused me of cheating. I was not cheating.
Do I need to queue up rant 3?
Well, queue up.
That's going to be my rant, my next rant.
There's the
2 episodes from
cliffhanger,
now.
folks. There's the cliffhanger.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So the only other thing I got is check out the History Buffet. We dropped a new episode just today. That's our first episode back in a couple months. Stock and I always go on this trajectory of like we will release several episodes throughout the summer and then like fall off the face of the earth for August and September. We won't post anything to Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or anything. We won't put out any content. And then like usually late October, November, it's like, hey, we're back. So
surprise.
We're in that era. We're in
We
that
still
arena.
exist.
All right.
Yeah.
We still exist. So
Now, I usually do an illustration, but I could not.
I thought it was hilarious.
I could not put the illustration together.
It was still really funny.
That turned out really good.
Yes. If you have not yet, it's great though. It's really funny.
It's really good.
If you have not checked out the History Buffet, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, all of the things. And it's literally this, just us being silly, but talking about history things. And so if you're into that, yeah, it's a good time.
It is a great time. If you do get a chance, check them out. It's an awesome podcast, an awesome experience. If you're driving somewhere in your car, throw it on. That's how Zach and I listen to it quite a bit. Just driving around, listen to you guys talk.
And we have free stickers at various
We do,
points.
yes.
Ooh, free merch.
We do have free stickers. All you have to do is just DM us on any social media platform that we're on. DM us your address. We will not do anything spam. We won't spam you or anything weird. We will just send you like Stock's illustration stickers in the mail, free of charge.
Malicious
Or
content
email.
incoming. Yeah.
No, we're too lazy to.
Yep.
But that's awesome. So get your free merch and get a listen on to the History Buffet podcast with the side dish.
Yes.
Yes.
We got several others.
Do you have a side dish this week?
We do have a side dish.
Yeah,
Okay.
you had one.
It is it's Halloween favorite Halloween movies.
Oh, yeah.
Is our side dish.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a good one.
Do you have a favorite Halloween movie?
Appropriate. Favorite Halloween movie. Is there a pumpkin in a Goofy movie?
I think there might be.
Ah, shoot.
I mean, in Goofy movie, extremely goofy movie. They go to college in the fall. So I feel like
that's
probably
true. There's got to be something about
checks
that.
out.
Never saw it.
Stock. We've got to get you educated.
Yes.
Favorite Halloween? Oh my goodness. I don't even know. I don't watch a lot of Halloween content. Hocus Pocus?
Never saw it.
Never saw it. No, not Halloween Town. Does that count? That's a Disney.
Oh yeah,
thing.
absolutely it counts. Yeah.
Never saw it.
We'll count that. I saw a meme from it yesterday, so we'll count it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's got to be a Star Wars Halloween special around there somewhere.
What about Nightmare Before Christmas?
Nightmare Before Christmas? Well, is that a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?
Both.
Yes.
The answer is yes. Jack Skellington is a favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. Stock, you got anything else you want to hit on before we head out?
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans. Senior night tonight. Are you going to be announcing senior night?
I will be announcing senior night.
Yes.
And everyone, you can watch me now, listen to the history buffet, listen to me at senior night. That'll be 3 stocks in one day.
Stock is everywhere.
So much stock.
We're stocked up on stock.
Take stock in stock.
Yes.
That should be your new slogan.
Yeah.
There it is.
Take stock in stock. So yeah, you'll hear stock tonight. Shout out to Gene Fye. He does a great job at the football announcing.
Oh,
He's doing
nice.
basketball announcing.
Love Gene.
Great dude, doing a great job.
Yep.
And it keeps me from having to do that because I can't see the field and or court anymore.
Anderson did it for a few years.
Anderson did, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
So we'll see you tonight. If we don't see you tonight, see you on Facebook for the Kiss Country 103.1 broadcast. Thank you to Mr. Holt for coming out. It's been a great time. We're still going to talk, but we're just going to hit the close button.
Yeah, we're going to hang out. So
and just be done.
Yep.
All right. So thanks everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for subscribing. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to see when we actually go live in public. We broadcast 3 times a week for the high school, for the radio TV class. We've got a lot of projects going on. We've got 2 other channels. So follow us. A lot of cool stuff going on here at CHS. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks everybody. With the wave on the way out.
Yes.
I like it. Later, everybody.
Peace.